Check it out. I just saw this video. It says 3 creepy true wilderness horror stories animated. Hopefully, I don't pee myself. I don't know. I get really creeped out at these things, but let's just get into it.
This was in 2016, but I
Okay.
remember every detail of the night as if it had just happened. I go out in the woods just south of the town I live in pretty frequently, at least 4 or 5 times a year. This
Okay.
weekend, I kind of just had that urge to get out and have some time alone, so I quickly filled my backpack and drove down to my favorite trail. I honestly don't know if it was even an actual trail that was marked on maps and all that.
Those are the best
Nobody was
ones.
ever hiking it or camping on it, so I'm really not sure if it was well known.
That's a good
I
thing.
parked on the side of the road near the trees, got my bag out, and hiked for 2 hours to the end.
2 hours?
This part of the woods wasn't mountainous or anything. It was very flat and just densely covered in trees. Great for a chill 1 or 2 day camping trip, but definitely nothing more than that, as it can get kinda boring.
Yo, I've never gone camping, but I don't know if I man, I think if I went camping, I would not survive. I don't know how to make a fire or I don't even know how to set up a tent. I don't know. What do you even bring on a camping trip? I don't know.
The campsite had nothing really to it. There was a few hours until sunset, so I took my time getting everything perfect and starting the campfire. I
Something I can't
relaxed
do.
and ate some trail mix, just enjoying the warm fire and birds chirping.
It's
When the sun
relaxing,
got
yeah.
lower, I tossed more sticks in. I always found it interesting how quickly the forest goes from being so alive to almost instantly getting quiet once the sun sets.
That is so true. If you've ever been out in the woods like during the day, it's like calming and you could just, just sit there and chill and you don't even think about anything but just relax, enjoy nature. But then as soon as the sun goes down, you're out in the woods. It's like you're checking over your shoulder every 3 seconds just tweaking out, bro. I don't know how the hell people do it.
I sat there and listened to the quietness for only about 25 minutes after dark before a strange sound
Oh, here we go.
interrupted the silence. It was music. It was coming from the distance, pretty far away, and it
What?
sounded like some old classical song. It almost sounded like an old record player. I stood up and looked
That's
in the
creepy.
direction it was coming from.
Nah.
Was there another campsite nearby? Maybe it was a group just casually playing some music,
True. True.
albeit really loudly. I stayed at my campsite and just listened for a while. Had to be 30 minutes at least. But what was so odd, and honestly kinda eerie, was that the song never changed. It was the same classical song on repeat,
That's the longest
filling the
song of all
void
time.
of the silent woods. I'm not one to usually care much if other campers are nearby, or having a loud bonfire party, or whatever they're doing, but this felt different. Something was off, and I didn't like it.
Oh man. It's
After
about to get
those 30
creepy.
minutes, I decided to walk a bit closer just to see what was going on. I didn't want to creep on anyone, but just wanted to make sure it was nothing weird so I'd be able to sleep tonight.
Yeah.
I grabbed my flashlight and started walking toward the sound. I felt like I was walking pretty far, which made it even weirder that I could hear it from so far away. The
Yeah.
closer I got, though,
You got
and
that
the
crazy
louder the
JBL.
music got, something started to feel really creepy. I could tell I had goosebumps, and my heart was beating a little
He's tweaking.
faster. It was then that I realized I'd only brought my flashlight. I should have brought my pocket knife or pepper spray, but I didn't even think about it.
You're done.
Eventually, I could tell I was getting really close. The music had to be coming from just 30 or 40 feet away, but I couldn't see anything. No bonfire or campfire or light of any kind. And then I saw it. A giant speaker sitting kind of propped up behind a tree.
What the hell is that? Why why would there be a speaker in the middle of the forest? That's the biggest speaker I've ever seen also.
Nothing else was around it. I shined my flashlight everywhere, and there were no signs of anyone.
Yeah, that's
I
creepy.
walked
Who
up to
turned
the
it on?
speaker. It looked like an old one from the early 2000s, basically just a giant box with an old LCD display and worn out buttons to control it. I found the power button and turned it off. Suddenly, the forest was silent.
That okay,
The
yeah, that's
stark
creepy.
difference was eerie. Who did this?
Yeah, who
It
turned it on?
almost felt like a trap or something. But even then, I made every excuse for it to not be. Like another camper leaving it behind on accident. Or, I don't know. Nothing really made sense about
You're
it. But
coping,
I
bro.
really didn't want to think it was the worst. I didn't stay longer than I had to. I hurried back to my campsite, feeling relieved to see my campfire and get back to what felt like the safety of my camp. However, as the minutes
However,
passed, I couldn't shake a strange feeling that loomed over me, like something was still off, but I didn't know what it was. The feeling got worse and worse until I remembered about my knife and pepper spray,
there you go.
thinking that if I kept them nearby, I'd feel safer. But that's when I realized what was off. Things were missing. My matches for starting fires, my cooking utensils, and both my knife and pepper spray, all just gone. My body tensed up.
Yo,
Someone
who is that? Who the hell is that?
was here. I didn't even have to think for a
Oh no,
second longer
I'm
before
packing up
packing
and
what
leaving
was
so
left.
fast.
And as I did, I heard it again. The
No,
music
no,
playing from out in the
no, no,
darkness
no, no,
of
no,
the
no.
woods. Closer though,
I'm
definitely not
sprinting.
far out where I'd found it before.
I don't know about y'all, but that 2 hour trail is gonna turn into a 15 minute. I'm sprinting the entire way. I don't care. I'm not looking back.
I hurried, getting out of the campsite and running down to the trail.
Damn right.
As I got further and heard the music fading out, I started to feel a little bit better. Still freaked out, but I thought whoever was out there had to be by the speakers where the music was coming from, which
Oh,
meant I was getting further away from them.
true.
I got about 15 minutes down the
It's not
path,
over.
now just walking through the quiet forest, far away from any of the music. And that's when I spotted something ahead, laying on the dirt trail.
What?
It was my stuff. The knife, pepper spray, utensils, everything that was missing. Someone laid it out perfectly lined up in the middle of the trail.
Boy, hell no. I'm leaving it. I'm not even picking it up. I'm gonna, dude, as soon as I see that stuff, my stuff that I had lost, I thought somebody stole, if I saw that on the ground right in front of me, like I thought I was hurrying out, right? He was going fast, speed walking out of there. But the people that took his stuff were going even faster and they went in front of him and dropped his stuff off to play some sick trick or something. I would see it and start sprinting if I'm not already.
What was the catch? Before I could grab any of it, I heard a flurry of footsteps rushing behind me.
Yo,
I
no,
looked back, seeing nothing but darkness.
dude.
So I just
Footsteps are this.
sprinted away.
I don't know about y'all, but if you ever are like walking down the street late at night and you just hear footsteps behind you, you're always gonna turn around like, oh my god, dude, footsteps are the scariest thing. Imagine you're in this situation. This situation, all your stuff's gone. There's the creepy ass music playing, and then all of a sudden you're in the middle of the forest. Your stuff's laying in front of you. They have no idea how it got there, and then you just hear footsteps sprinting towards you. I will have never run faster in my life. Sign me up for track, bro. I don't care.
Leaving it all behind. I ran for what felt like 10 whole minutes.
Yeah.
Then continued jogging slash fast walking for the rest of the way. Thankfully, I got out of that forest and back to the road.
Dude.
I really can't say what the hell I experienced that night. It feels like somehow I barely
is that?
managed to escape some psycho. Almost like they were playing with their food.
Don't do that to me, bro.
I
It's
haven't
creepy.
been back to that forest, and I never plan to.
I don't blame you, bro. I ain't never going back there. I don't care if the shorties is like, oh, let's go to the trail that you took me to. No,